Alright, Thursday morning, and I'm gonna work on the char grinder. I wanted to make some charcoal. I had some, because like the lemons and all that, like I wanted to pot that already Monday, but I didn't have enough nice biochar to commence with that. So instead, I'm going to actually get around to making the grinder. Just looking around. Oh, I know what it is. But yeah, I got this piece is this is gonna be the pulley for now. It's not gonna be. It's probably not gonna be the nicest, to be honest, but it's gonna work. And for the time being, I'm just gonna put a handle on there so that I can do it all by hand. And I have ideas on how to make. I want to make like a pedal powered generator. So basically, think of the idea as like a tractor has a PTO, and you can drive that wherever you want, and it powers all different sorts of machinery. Well, I want to make some sort of bicycle that has a PTO that I would be able to hook up to different mechanical devices that I start making, and then be able to run them that way. And I have ideas on how this is an idea I've had floating around in my mind, and I've seen many different concepts like this, like there's a website Maya Pedal. They're a NGO in South America, I believe, and they make pedal powered machines, but they're very dedicated machines. So you have a dedicated corn grinder, you have a dedicated blender, all this stuff. I want to make a universal adaptation to make devices that can fit onto the machine, so that you can have one stationary power unit that you can move along, and that you can hook up to, say, a corn mill, a grinder, a blender, what have you, a char grinder, like that. You can just slot these things in, and that you can power them through. And at a later point, you could have a winnowing machine, a threshing machine. That's a big thing too. And that's the thing, I want to make a lot of these things just pedal powered, because everything I do around here is on a scale that I don't need. I don't need machines, but I also want to demonstrate the possibility that we don't need external sources like fossil fuels to actually do all these, to be efficient, because I really do believe the human being is the most efficient machine that this world has. And if we can harness that, because I don't know, I see the power of the bicycle. It's how much you can get out of that. I think it's worth pursuing. So, it's maybe that's just my crazy ideas. Who knows? But yeah, I'd like to get this little pulley handle mocked up. I'm just getting the bandsaw ready. I want to make a circle on here, so the easiest thing to do is to find center of the board, put a nail through there, and then I need a place to hold it. So I'm just going to clamp this piece of 3/4 onto here, and then you can just move the board around, and then you get a really perfect circle. Alright, here's the setup. So this is just clamped to the bandsaw, and then this was drilled, and then I just have a nail that runs in the middle. It's to the center of the board, to the edge of there, and the idea is just to turn it on and then spin it around the axis of that nail. Alright, so the disc is cut. I put a hole in the middle, and then I just kind of started slowly reaming it out to fit this one. And now it's like I have to hammer that in to make it tight, and I just put it in there, and it's right tight, so it's good. And I'm just gonna put some epoxy on there, and then just drive it home. I guess we'll try and make sure that it's true to the wheel, and then once that's all cured, we can put a handle on there. I'm still thinking of how I do that, but I think like even without the epoxy, I bet you it would work quite well. But we'll just put that on there for extra measure. And yeah, I think it'll work good for now, and then we'll see how it goes. And if I needed to put a V groove in there or something. I could still make a pulley out of it. For now, I'm just going to stick with a handle. Alright, so it's a good bit further in the day, and so the morning was spent. I went out to a berry farm. They had a strawberry farm. Man, that was a lot of strawberries. Went out there with my mother, and we picked, I have 4 baskets. I don't know how much in the basket, but picked 4 baskets there. And I just came back from their place and I finished. I helped her to process them all, and then and we canned them all right away. So we made some strawberry rhubarb jam and then some strawberry jam. And I brought some home with me as well, just some whole strawberries, because I want to do some experiments as per usual. So I'd like to make a vinegar, and I'm just very curious on how a strawberry wine would turn out. So I'm toying with that. But outside of that, then I got this little pulley. I'm ready to make it's still drying, the epoxy, but I want to make a handle on here that comes so that I can do it by hand, and at a later point something that's removable, so I can still turn, I guess, a V groove in here if I want to. And so the idea is to have a kind of a bolt to come through, a piece of flat bar, and then a bolt as the handle, and then I can make a rotating handle because this copper is fits right over that. So outside of that, I'm just going to get the vinegar set up, and probably go back and get the metal work done for that pulley. But before that, I should really go to the beehives and give them a little bit more frames, kind of the last frames for the summer, the just straight comb, so that they can work on that. Okay, so I'm just getting things wrapped up here. So this is my 2 little experiences for the wine. This one's got 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, and this is just strawberries. So yeah, got 2 airlocks on there, just old bottles, had it kicking around. And this is actually apple cider vinegar, and it's done, but I didn't have another bottle to drain it off. But this is the start of the strawberry vinegar. People say, why are you wasting good strawberries on vinegar? Vinegar's good. If you like vinegar, then why not make flavored vinegar? I honestly don't understand it. Same with like honey vinegar. Why not make it? If you like to flavor your food, if you like flavor, then why not go make a decent vinaigrette? But yeah, I'm gonna go head on out, go back to the farm, go to that's where the metalworking is set up. Plus, I might actually have a piece of metal out there that I dug up from the yard, from archaeological excavations, that might actually prove to come in handy this time round. So we'll do that, and I really should bring a piece of wood with me. It would be nice to have a wooden handle instead of the copper. Now that I think about it, and I can turn it over there just as nicely. Probably a good way to go around. I will do that. So I'll find a nice piece of wood, and again, it's funny, it's all pallet wood, or this is actually all packing wood. But let me look at this. This is like exotic jungle wood. It's very tight grained wood. And this is what I turned it actually out. It's a little bit dusty now, but I made pulleys out of that wood. And I mean, just look at the pattern on that wood. It's beautiful. And I don't know where this stuff comes from, but I guess, if you go down south, maybe if it comes from an Asian country, then you get different wood. And so they just use it in packing material. So I'll go fish something out, something that is handle worthy, and yeah, it's a good diameter too, and then turn that on the lathe. Alright, so I'm just gonna go into the beehive there and give them some frames of blank foundation. Yeah, so these are Langstroth, but these hives are set up to take Langstroth frames. So this is just so that they have a place to store honey. At this point in the season, as you know, you build them slowly in the spring so they don't feel overwhelmed, and then at this point I probably could have done probably a little sooner, but once the honey flow really starts, then you can just fill the rest of the hive with this there's a foundation, and it's just a place for them to store it. So yeah, I did suit up this time because well, it can get aggressive, and especially I hope that footage is. So looks like they're working nicely on that. I'm just going to give them clean the edges of these. Just allows for an easier nicer joint. Hindsight being 20/20, you should have done this before. I'll say they are a lot calmer than the last time I went in here. I wonder how far the pillowcase can even go. Let's see. See, I'm already disturbing them a whole lot less. Okay, well that's exactly where the pillowcase is ending, so I'll do that. And if they make it that far, I'd be impressed. Hindsight being 2020, I could have moved the pillowcase a little bit more in, but I guess I never thought about chalking the box full. But you see, this is the oh, come on. Okay, I'm just going to close this up. Alright, so I'm just giving a quick update. So yeah, the bees, I guess they got all their frames, put those in there, at least for the ones I could find. And now I am back here working on the pulley. So what I just did was drill the 2 holes, because I have 2 8/32 machine screws. So the idea is, I'm going to use this as a demonstration, but I want to put a piece of steel across, like a piece of flat bar like that. One side can be hit into the wood, and then 2 machine screws, and the middle will be supported in there. So there's going to be 3 points of contact on that central disc, so that it's not just the epoxy holding this whole thing together, but it's actually going to be a physical connection to that. And then that is going to keep going up the piece of steel up till here, and that's where the handle is going to be. And that's what I have this. I cut one of the pieces of wood down, squared it off so I can chuck it into the lathe at some point, and I'll just put the tailstock on there with a center point, and that'll be, it's a metal lathe, but it'll turn wood. And then it'll and at the very end drill out a hole so that it fits over this bolt for as a handle. So that's the idea. We'll see how that turns out. Anybody who's tapped holes knows that, especially when you're doing small stuff like this is the point where you pray. I'm serious about that, because this is, oh man, it's always, you really have to have a feel for it. Prayer and cutting oil are your friends in this situation. Now it's not a blind hole, so it does actually go through, and I'll maybe show it how this is bordering right on the edge of the cylinder. Like, it couldn't be further, it couldn't be closer, and I'll bet you there's going to be a little bit of thread on the sidewall. I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, I see where I am, and I'm well past where I need to be. See, because it's so close to that sidewall, I bet you it's cutting into that sidewall ever so slightly. But hey, that's very nice. Tell you what, that's one of the more satisfying pieces of machining. Anytime you thread, it's still a dirty, still a dirty hole, but really you should just take an air nozzle to it. But hey, the tap went in there that far. Good, good. Woohoo! Ain't that's nice. I like that. Just gonna tighten this up with the pliers. Cutting oil is your friend. Slow and steady wins the race. It's a shame to rush through something like this and have a top break in there. All the work that you did up until now, you got to start all over. It's not a good feeling. Ask me how I know. Sometimes it's I think I'm through. Yeah. When you can do that, you know you're through. Okay. Let's tight on there. It's fine. Sooner. If you can take it off there, sooner do that. There we go. 2 tap holes. Alright, so it's I didn't know if it was recording. It's getting late, but and the lighting's poor. But I'm just continuing on with the handle. So this here is a piece of steel I found. There's a good thickness there. I just punched some holes in there, so I measured them up. Just finished drilling. There are the 2 outside ones for here. I need to ream this one out a little bigger. These 3 are for wood screws. For these ones, the wafers, they fit nicely in there. And then that last hole there needs to be a 1/2 inch to accommodate this one. And then all the holes should be punched in here, and that should be good. So I'm just going to ream this one out, and then I'm going to ream that one out. And it's raining cats and dogs, and she don't care for the lightning. But, we could use the rain, so I'm happy for it. But yeah, there's no lights up here yet, and so I'm working by the spotlight. So, yeah, we'll see where this goes. And I probably won't be turning the handle today. Like I said, it's getting late, but who knows? I don't want to get to the car either now. So I was done. Alright, so here's the piece. And the holes are all drilled. It's all fit up, which, yeah, it's nice because, you know, I'm just, whatchamacallit, I do this all by hand, so the fact that it lines up is this wunderbar. There's room for 3 wood screws in there. That just helps to increase its strength. And this one will be coming through that hole from the back side. And in fact, if I just it's a snug fit, and I should have a washer in between there, but those washers are a little too wide for what I want. I'll see if I find something a little smaller. And then there will be a handle that would I'll have a wood handle in the middle there, and that'll just be held captive by the nut here, and that will just so that you can reciprocate around there. So that's the idea. If anything, I see this can actually spin in here already, so that's already a plus. Originally I just was going to put a piece of copper tubing around that, and that would work. That would honestly work. In fact, I could still do that and then give it a try, because outside of that it is all ready to go, I would say. But it's going to fit it up, and I don't want to use it yet because that epoxy is not fully cured yet. So it's but the nice thing is, even if this wood looks ugly now, which it's not the nicest, but at least the steel can always be, and the steel can always be, you can always make a new pulley, but at least all the work that's been put into this is can still be kept. So but it's getting late now. I'd like to still get myself a warm meal and then call it a day. So I'm gonna call it here. So if you watched this far, thanks for watching, and take care.